So today we're reviewing A Good Day to Die Hard, which is the fifth in the Die Hard trilogy, which is directed by John Moore, starring, of course, Bruce Willis and Jay Courtney.
So the setting in this Die Hard is different. It takes place in Russia. Are you a fan of Die Hard, the series?
I'd say, yeah. I mean, I think that it's a great series. It's a great character.
Great action.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's just a great staple popcorn flick.
Yeah.
And you can go see a Die Hard movie, and at the end of the day, even if the movie's just utterly bad, you still get a kick out of watching Bruce Willis act like a total psychopath.
This is why the first one is such a classic. If you look at the first one as a standalone film, it's just a normal dude, well, somewhat normal dude, in an insane situation that he has to deal with himself, you know. And he as a character was just so interesting and likable that it just, like, you know, you could follow him throughout the entire movie, and it was just, like, the most entertaining thing. And I think that the fact that he's such a likable character is the reason why we get so many sequels and that we never get bored of him. Were you getting bored of him in this fifth installment, for example? I'm just curious.
Well, no, I didn't. He was still the top of his nails, like, awesome dude that could handle any situation that he's thrown into. Is just, I don't know, the epitome of one man versus the world.
Yeah, but that's not what this is, like this one.
In a way, I saw it as that.
Really?
I mean, I saw it as just like everything, where Bruce Willis is just moseying along, minding his own business, and then all of a sudden, and that's the other thing about Die Hard movies, is what's great is you get this really human aspect of John McClane. In every Die Hard movie, they introduce him as a dude with issues. First one, he's having relationship problems.
True, it's true.
In the third one, when they pick him up, he's still drunk from the night before. You know, he's a man with issues. You know, this one diverges a little bit more into his family life, which, as if you followed, the last one also kind of did a little bit.
This movie has it has a plot, but I'll be damned if, like, someone can understand the plot. It makes, like, I mean, honestly, did you understand it? Maybe I'm just stupid, but I just fucking did not understand a single thing that was going on.
It's not impossible to understand, but it's not like it's a complex plot. It's just a shitty plot.
Yeah.
It's not there's anything complex about the plot. There's nothing on paper that's hard to understand. It's just that the way they introduce characters and the way they go through the story and the way they, like, talk about the events that are going on, they don't really give a good explanation for anything.
No, they don't, and it totally lacks a distinct villain. But okay, look, here's the thing: is like, yeah, Sebastian Koch or whatever was really good, but it's kind of hard to talk about him without revealing too much about his character.
It has way too much going on in it, and they don't pick one thing to go with and explain. Instead, they just kind of they dip you into a bunch of different stories and a bunch of different villains and a bunch of different ideas all at once without really linking them together, without really giving you a comprehensive run-through of it. And then before you know it, the movie's over and you weren't even sure what the main problem, what the main villain was. They're playing on a very old-school 80s foundation of an evil communist Eastern power that is going to rise up again or something like that. And, you know, taking place in Russia, and a lot of throwbacks to the time in American filmmaking where we had portrayed, you know, Russians as, like, our, you know, enemies and stuff. And you look at that now in today's world, and a lot of people aren't even going to know what the damn CCCP even stands for.
I guess you kind of understand who the main villain is, but no, you do, but you really don't care, because the entire time Bruce Willis is acting like totally invincible, like nothing can kill him. The other Die Hards, it was so much more about, like, him trying to survive the situation.
Right. In this one, he seems to not give a shit.
Not give a shit. It's like, it's totally just, I don't know, it's just totally blown out of proportion and just weird, and the story's random.
It submerges you in an extremely conflictual relationship between him and his son, but does not give you any backstory on it.
So, none. And it's like their conversations just like one-liners back and forth.
Back and forth. Yeah. And they show this development of him and his son's relationship through the most superficial and, like, surface conversation and portrayal of emotions towards each other.
Yeah.
That it seems so... It's laughable. I mean, the way I describe this movie is the best goddamn stoner comedy that's come out this year, because I mean,
and I'll give you a stoner laugh.
Yeah, and it seems like a joke. Like towards
Yeah,
the
no,
end
it
of the
does.
movie, it seems like
It does.
a
It does.
parody or something.
It's weird that the stunts are so extreme and like they use CGI in there, and it just doesn't seem,
It's not authentic.
necessary. Yeah, it doesn't feel authentic, and
But
it's like
you could say the same thing about the last one as well.
yeah, you could, and I would argue that even the last one had more insane stunts.
Yes.
Like some of the action, the climax was very. It was very Die Hard. It was intense. It was cool. It was unique. So it was fun to watch. That was cool.
The difference, the reason why I would say this one was worse than the previous one,
It was.
which I
was
already
definitely worse.
thought was pretty bad and kind of was like a really bad hack at a perfect trilogy.
Yeah, but
And-
I am glad that they went back to that character.
It's watchable. It's not. It's something you're gonna go see and watch because the first ones are good. It's like the new Star Wars that's coming out. It's like bullshit. You're not gonna see the new Star Wars that's coming out, even if you think that the last three destroyed the series.
Yeah.
You're gonna see it because it's a brand that you like, and
That's true.
it's a characters that
And-
you like, and that you're so
yeah.
familiar with, and that you grew to love, and you've watched over and over again. Of course, you're gonna see John McClane take on the world one more time. And shit, they're gonna if they make another one after that where John McClane is rolling around in a wheelchair trying to fight bad guys, I'll go see that just because I love Bruce Willis and just because this is Bruce Willis's character. This is Bruce Willis's epitome of acting. This is Bruce Willis. Like when you think of Bruce Willis, you think of Die Hard. And
it's funny you say the wheelchair thing because I was saying like to my friend after I saw it, they got one more chance here to redeem themselves and make like a classic Die Hard movie before he's just too old.
The other great thing about this movie is it's rife with John McClane moments. Exaggerated John McClane moments, but funny, laughable, and enjoyable John McClane moments. Moments where he just takes his overbearing and super self-confident attitude and just puts it in the perfect play.
Did you notice how much it seemed dubbed? Where they just threw in like John McClane classic
Cursing,
lines
yeah.
and cursing and like
grumbling and fumbling and all this stuff.
And it's just like I could just imagine Bruce Willis, in the audio like recording room, just like saying shit, fucker.
It's it's fun to watch. You get into it. It's like I get into it at least. I get in. I get into that whole thing.
Nah, I wasn't really that into it.
I mean, I love watching Bruce Willis be a total badass. I don't know what it is, but
dude, I do too. But like, it just seemed so forced, and the story just wasn't there, and it's so random. Nah, it wasn't for me. I just honestly Die Hard is so much to me about the situation that he's put in.
Exactly.
It has to be an intense situation. Even in the fourth one, it was pretty on edge. I felt like I was on the edge of my seat the first time I saw it, and it gave me the same feeling of all the other Die Hard films the first time I saw it. Honestly, the reason this one was disappointing was because I did not get that feeling whatsoever this time around. It wasn't the same. It's not the same. In my opinion, it doesn't belong in the same spectrum. It wasn't a good movie.
One of the magics of Die Hard is you watch him on his hands and knees.
Yeah.
Use everything around him to struggle and survive, fighting these adversaries that beat the shit out of him, but he laughs through it.
Satisfying.
And it's so satisfying because he gets in a fight, he gets punched in the face a bunch of times, and he beats the dude to fucking out of consciousness with his bare hands. Or uses pushes some dude off a ledge or kills him with a laundry machine or some shit like that. But in this one, he's got guns up the ass.
No, and he's automatic machine guns that just don't run out of ammo. I swear to God, there's a scene where he is standing next to Jay Courtney, and he just reaches down and picks up an assault rifle. And just starts shooting without reloading, without stopping. It's just so ridiculous.
With any other action series, that's fine, and that I get happens in action movies. To nitpick
but Die Hard's unique.
But Die Hard's unique in the sense that it's realistic. It's the fact that he doesn't have a million weapons. It's the fact that he's limited to ammo. It's the fact that he gets hurt.
Yeah.
And he gets a fucked up face, and he has to fight people that are beating the shit out of him and better than him and better armed than him. But he figures out a way. This one, it's a totally different stance, and he's just the prototypical action hero, the fucking stereotypical action duo that is just standing and shooting relentlessly at a group of bumbling henchmen that can't seem to fucking get their heads out of their ass. And it doesn't feel authentic to the Die Hard series. The Die Hard series is more than that. And the reason why it's good is because it shows you more than that. And it gets you into it because it's so desperate and so intense, and he has to go through it.
All right, let's give it a rating.
All right.
Yeah. I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. it had, some good moments. There was some Die Hard moments in there that I really liked, that were really cool and unique and exciting. But and I think Bruce Willis is pretty much as good as ever, although he is looking a little bit old. The villain wasn't there. I gotta say that I liked the setting, but it just didn't really make sense. And just the plot seemed so random to me. And like I said, it just lacks that like realism and that punch that the original ones have. Yeah, 5.5 rental.
So basically, I'm kind of split about this movie because I had a great time when I went to see it. But I think that was just kind of because it was a Die Hard movie, and the 3 days before it, I was like, yeah, the new Die Hard, like whatever, it'll be cool. Like it's a new Die Hard, and I'll like it just because it's a new Die Hard. And I did like it just because it was a new Die Hard. But if I wasn't such an avid fan of the Die Hard movies, and they didn't hold such a special place in my heart, I would probably think this was a terrible movie and would have had a very bad experience at it. So for a Die Hard fan, if you really like this movie, and you like the other movies, and you even like the most recent one, I would say it's about a really low good time. It's like barely a 7.5. If you're not really a Die Hard movie fan, if you don't really care about Die Hard, if Die Hard isn't something that you think about on a regular day-to-day basis, then it's really kind of a forget about it. A high forget about it at a 5.4, but I have to give it a forget about it because if you're not really into movies like that and you're not really into Die Hard, it's a bad display of
Maybe
an action movie.
Maybe if you like action movies, you won't like and you don't like the original Die Hards, you'll like this one because it's so damn different. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch the fourth one. Like, yeah. Just because I want to see it again. I don't know.
I'm just gonna watch the third one forever.
Yeah.